Good morning, students. Can you hear me? Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Okay. So last class actually I talked about that Sol-Gel process, and then in Sol-Gel process we precisely discussed what is basically Sol and what is gel. So last class means I closed in this particular area, so that is actually Sol and the gel. So Sol this as a definition, the Sol consists of a liquid with colloidal particle which are not dissolved but not agglomerate or sediment. So it should not be dissolved or it should not be agglomerate or settled. That means it's a colloidal. So and colloidal phase already I discussed. It's a depends on this particle size. And now question is that these colloidal particle need to be dispersed. It need not to be agglomerated. If agglomeration happens, then what will happen? That it will settle down. Okay, so that is true for any nanoparticle system also. Like if you synthesize some nanoparticle, you should have stable dispersion. So how to do it? Using of some kind of surfactant you can use it. So similar way actually here what is used, the two technology, that one is actually electrostatic repulsion and second is the steric hindrance. So these things in the next slide it will be clear. So electrostatic stabilization or electrostatic repulsion, you can see that actually if we make the colloidal particle charge, you can see there is a double layer formation and this minus charge. So if two particles try to come closer, it will repel each other and that hence we'll get that stabilization. Similar in steric stabilization, what is this? In this case, this is called actually self-assembled monolayer. So this self-assembled monolayer with some arrangement, if you just make some, I mean, it will self-assembled monolayer always, it will adhere on the surface and it's covalently attached. Okay, so it will not removed also easily. And because of this steric hindrance, two nearby particle will not come closer. So these are the two way we can make this stable Sol. And then so what is that characteristics of the Sol? If you see the colloidal particles are submitted to the Brownian motion. So Brownian motion means actually they can freely move any places and they are bound to collide with each other as well as with this container surface, and this aggregation occurs and precipitate forms. And so in this case actually they are like two particles can either remain associated with each other, rebound, or remain independent. If it's remain associated, agglomeration will happen. If it's independent, you will get a stable salt, and that particle remain dispersed. In that case, if it's remain independent particle, that is the requirement. It should be independent. It should not rebound. And if it's independent, we can call it that particle remain dispersed in the liquid, and that is called peptized. Okay, so these are actually there are peptidization methods are available, and the stable suspension of colloid solid solution with a liquid or gaseous media is called Sol. So you can see that it has a Brownian motion, and this is example of a stable colloid. And if it's ag- this aggregation or agglomeration it's happening, then immediately we can observe the sedimentation. But sedimentation in generally it should not happen. Then that peptidation, what are that actually? So peptidation can be defined as an action of dispersing colloidal particle in a liquid medium so that this dispersion remain stable. And this kinetic stability of the sol. So what is this one? Like van der Waal interaction. So some van der Waal interaction can do the stabilization. Electrostatic interaction. So electrostatic interaction means also that it can possible, like if you make a double layer charge, so then it will repel each other. Steric hindrance already I discussed. Some organic moieties if it's attached, and then actually it will form a self-assembled monolayer, and this steric hindrance would prevent of this aggregation or agglomeration of several particles. And that magnetic interaction, if you just make it magnetic, so there will be a magnetic repulsion. But in this case is limited use, so particles should have magnetic property. And this electrostatic interaction, already I discussed that in electrostatic interaction, that this double layer formation, and then actually what is happening, and this is actually interaction energy, and this is separation distance. So when that with increasing that separation distance, that when it's high, then interaction energy and the separation distance plot is actually, it will be like this. And electrical, in this plot, what is the difference? You can see that electrical double layer thickness. So electrical double layer thickness, so when electrical double layer thickness is very high, and then you can see that interaction energy is also, I mean, it's very high. Okay, so but that is actually, we are not going in details, so just you have to keep in your mind electrostatic interaction in one way to get a like actually stable dispersion, and in that case actually, I mean, we may get a stable sol. Again, the similar way, the steric interaction, so already I discussed that in steric interaction this will be self-assembled monolayer, and this self-assembled monolayer, it will be covalently attached on the surface. So it is, I mean, if you think that okay, if I wash it will go away, it's not like that. So I mean, until unless you heat it, this bond will not break. And now come to the gel and its characteristics. So gel is a semi-solid mass which consists of that continuous solid skeleton or particle enclosing a continuous liquid phase. This is, you can see that this is a gel, and this conversion of salt to gel takes place by forming linkage between the salt particle, and which takes place over a period of time and finally forms three-dimensional solid network. So in this case, three-dimensional solid network is formed, and the liquid present in solid network is in thermodynamic equilibrium and does not flow spontaneously. So it will not flow, liquid will be in the solid network, and this is actually example of alumina gel like Carborundum Universal, one abrasive company. They are actually extensively use the sol gel method to prepare their abrasive, and mostly like alumina based abrasive, Al2O3 based abrasive. And now actually type of the sol gel process, one is actually metal organic route, and second is that inorganic route. So in metal organic route, actually like metal organic alkoxide kind of precursor can be used. In inorganic route, like let's say the metal nitrate, metal acetate, this kind of thing can be used as a precursor material. Now that let's observe that what is happening in sol gel processing. So in sol gel processing, the general mechanism of sol gel processing consisting of two primary stage, and the first stage is the hydrolysis, and then followed by this polymerization. So in hydrolysis, what is happening? You see, this is actually one metal alkoxide. This is called metal alkoxide. R is that organic, like actually CH3, C2H5, that organic radicals, and H2O, if it's attached, you can see that H2O is actually hydrolyzed, and OH bond formation is there with M metal alkoxide, and this M could be any metal. So here you can see that SiOR and HOH, so SiOH and ROH, this formation. Next is the condensation. So first is that this hydrolysis, and second is the condensation. So condensation is the process where metal hydroxide join together and form a metal oxygen metal chain, and the two hydroxyl group of this metal hydroxide join together and condense as water. So what is happening here, like this is MOH and this is HOM. You can see in this molecule there was one M, but in this molecule there are actually two metal atom is coming. So that means we can say that this is not, is a condensation is happening. Example, SiOH, this hydrolyzed product and then SiOSi formation is there. Similar SiOH and ROH, ROSI, in this case also SiOSi formation is there. So this is actually gel is a porous three-dimensional continuous solid network surrounded by a continuous liquid phase. And this gelification the same thing. So if you mix it and then stirring and heating, first sol will form. In that sol means actually some colloidal particle. Then with time that colloidal particle will be connected and network will form, that is called gel. And with aging you can get a stable gel. So and this is the schematic representation of how this hydrolysis is happening. Here you can see H2O. This H2O is actually connecting and it's forming OH. Similar, this is actually SiOR and this is one OH formation, and finally it will be connected. You can see that two molecule is connecting, and in this case again SiOH, this is SiOH, that molecule will be connecting. So like this actually several molecule, when it will be connecting, it will be a gel formation will be there. So hydrolysis and condensation reaction. So this is already I discussed. So this is hydrolysis and this is condensation. Now the gelation. So in gelation process, so gelation is a process according to which a salt transferred to a gel. And the viscosity of the solution that undergoes a rapid increase corresponding to this transition from a viscous liquid to a elastic gel. So, and in this case actually this is stable sol and this gelation and this coagulation. So there are different condition is there in stable sol. It's actually, you can see that it's not connected, but when any gelation is happening, it's actually should be connect and form a network. But in coagulation, you can see that connection could be like that anywhere, but in gelation it's not like that. So in gelation actually it's a particular process where you will get a network. It's a differ from this coagulation. And if you see that viscosity, so this is the sol viscosity. So sol viscosity will increase and then it will convert to gel. Here you can see the gel formation. Then again with time gel viscosity will increase. Now question is that how sol viscosity is increasing? Like actually there is a continuous evaporation of this solvent, and that is the reason this once the sol form, the sol viscosity will increase. Similar that in gel also, that aging effect is actually increasing the gel viscosity and as well as this. So in this case this also that I missed another one important point. Initially it's a precursor. In the precursor it's a clear solution, because precursor is nothing but a metal nitrate in, let's say, some solvent. So if you put NaCl in water, it will be a solution. Then what will happen? With time, one is actually evaporation of solvent is happening. Second, what is happening? This hydrolysis and condensation reaction is happening. And in that case, actually more colloidal particle is actually coming to the solution, and parallelly that evaporation of the solvent is happening. In both combined effect, that viscosity is increasing. Similarly, that once sol is converting to the gel viscosity again, it will increase with time. So this is actually aerogel and xerogel, and aerogel is obtained when a liquid phase of gel is replaced by a gas. So liquid phase of the gel, it will be replaced by a gas. In such way, the solid network only will retain, and with only a slight or no shrinkage in gel. So shrinkage will be less than 15%, and xerogel is obtained when liquid phase of gel is removed by evaporation. So in this case, shrinkage will be 90%. Okay. So this is the basic difference between aerosol and xerosol. And what are that different factor that is actually affecting the sol-gel process? Water content. If its solvent is water, then water content is important, pH of the system, temperature, and this concentration. Concentration means in this precursor, concentration of, let's say, alkoxide or solvent metal salt, if you use the starting material, that one. And this water content, so that amount of water added is expressed in terms of hydrolysis ratio H, and defined as H is moles of water and moles of metal alkoxide. So with that ratio, we can calculate that amount of water added is expressed as hydrolysis ratio. And then pH, of course, the pH effect is important. You can see that with increasing pH, so this is actually the condensation and hydrolysis reaction. So it will actually, reaction rate will decrease and then increase. The same thing is happening in hydrolysis as well as this condensation. So pH is an important factor. So pH means actually it could be acidic medium or base medium. According to that, actually, this sol-gel process um, will act. And now we can see that effect of pH, this with increasing the pH and growth and the gelation, the morphology in gel it's changing, and that is actually will decide the ultimate product morphology. So with increasing pH, you can see that it's a branch network to a actually narrow, small size branch to a particulate structure is formed. Again, this growth and gelation, if you decrease, so initially it will be a like actually separated branch, and then it will be a connected branch it will form. Now the zeta potential. So what is zeta potential? Can anyone tell what is zeta potential? How to define zeta potential? Can anyone? Anyone please? Zeta potential. What is zeta potential? How to find out the zeta potential? Can anyone? What is zeta potential? Please.
So the potential between the layers, sol layer and the coating.
Correct. So it's a potential difference between this particle surface and then the bulk. So in this case, bulk will be inside the liquid. Okay. So if you just from the particle surface, wherever double layer formation. So if you measure the potential and then with time, with length, with distance from the surface, if you measure that change of the potential, then actually what will happen, this is actually the curve. So this will be constant when it will be away from the surface, particle surface. So wherever it will be constant from there to at the particle surface, whatever the potential, so that difference we called it zeta potential. So zeta potential actually is very important in terms of zeta potential actually will decide that your material that will be stabilized or not, or what is that strength of the potential. Zeta potential value is high means actually it will be highly stabilized. Then the temperature. So you can see that in this graph that how this gel formation depends on the temperature, and this is the plot that how this viscosity changing with temperature. So this is, already I discussed. So acid catalyzed and the base catalyzed. So this is actually in like pH dependency how it's happening. So with pH that morphology will will change. So this is the same thing. So polymer synthesis and the particle synthesis, if you want. So in this case, in polymer synthesis, that we should go for. So in the previous slide already you can see that in acid catalyzed we need to use, and particle synthesized base catalyzed can be used. So that is the same thing. So polymer synthesized, and this is actually, and this is particle synthesized. So you will get that particle. And now this linear polymer, then in this case, after coating actually, that dense protective or crystalline film can form random this aggregate highly porous anti reflection type film will form, and then uniform particle is there, so thick film glass preform and that catalytic substrate. So this is actually according to our need. We should select the pH so that actually initial, that in sol, or maybe I mean in particular thin film coating, we don't need the gel, but in sol also. So initial morphology may decide this final structure. So this is again the same thing, that with, I mean you can see that this is pH less than 7, and how actually this is the structure. If you want a solve with a bigger size, so then actually this 7 to 10 in between, so that means it base media, if you use it, we can reach to that larger size. But if you have actually less than 7, or I means like in 7 to 10, there actually you can go for a this kind of smaller size. And you can see that how this particle size is increasing, and so that means that the, whatever the morphology will come, that is will be decided by pH of the precursor. That is extremely important. Then the gel drying, so after that gel, whatever product you want, but gel need to be dried. So that is, you can see in our previous slide here. So this is the gel. From the gel we can get aerosol, then dense ceramics we can get it. So gel need to be dried, then only it will form. Similar, from the sol we can get gel, we can get that uniform particle, or we can spinning for to electrospinning. So this is also some heating is required, then only we can get that desired material. Now the decomposition of the sintering. So what will happen? We are, let's say that we start with metal salt, so some metal nitrate. In sol form, it will not convert to oxide. It may form some colloidal particle, but that need to be decomposed to get that oxide. So that's why actually decomposition and sintering is very important. This is, you can see the picture of the sintering, and after sintering you can get the final product. And now that we can discuss like coating technique, what are the coating technique like dipping, spraying, Doppler blading, painting, rolling, flow coating. These are all the technique can be used in sol gel. And which material can be coated? Glass, ceramics, metal, polymer, all range of material can be coated. Curing method, it could be thermal or could be photochemical. Okay, so photochemical like UV light and these things also can be done. Coating material, inorganic, ceramic material, inorganic, organic material, hybrid material, and then nanoparticle. This kind of coating is possible, and then variation of film property, chemical composition, porosity, micro, nano structure, these things actually can be tailored. So some of that coating technique, so dipping, spinning, spraying, glazing, brass painting, roller, coating, screen printing, and this is, you can see the dip coating. So in dip coating, what is happening? This is the dipping chamber, and in control way, that substrate will be emerge. Control way, I am telling, and then it will be again take it out in a same controlled manner. So what will happen, that initially it will, when it will emerge in the liquid, then there will be a layer formation on the surface, and while heating, you may get a film. In glazing, what happened? Sorry. This is actually, you can see this layer need to be coated, and here this sol is poured, and you can see that is actually will spread because of this tilting. It's a tilted substrate, so this liquid will flow and you will get a uniform coating. Spinning, in spin coating, this is the spin coating chamber. In spin coating, if you just drop whatever you prepare the sol, drop wise, if you add it, then if you spread there, and finally you will get a very smooth film. And then sometimes it need to be annealing or sintering. Spraying, this is called spray gun. This is called that chamber, this reservoir, ink reservoir or precursor reservoir. So precursor will put it here, and then using this gun we can do that spray of the same solution. So this is a spray coating. You can see by using spray coating, this chamber is being made. Spin coating, you can see that application of this coating solution, and then spread of the solution, and finally solvent evaporation. So deep coating already I discussed. Flow coating or glazing is here. These are the advantage of the sol gel. So sol gel has plenty of advantage, like able to get uniform and small size powder, and temperature requirement is less, and so on. That please go through this all these things. And these are actually some application, like actually it can be used in ceramic manufacturing as well as in investment casting method. So for and this producing very thin film of metal oxide for various purpose. And sol gel material can have diverse application: optics, electronics, energy, space, biosensor, medicine, separation, etc. So with this one, I just finish, and this is up to sol gel. Today, I'll put it all these class notes to your Moodle, so you will get all the details. And next week, I'll start on chemical bath deposition, and then maybe after Diwali, that thermal coating will be remaining part. That thermal coating, their plasma spray coating will be coming, and characterization of thin film will be there. Okay, so I'll take the attendance, and then, and in the meantime, if you have a question, you can ask. So if there is no questions, let's wrap up the session. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.